In this video, we will be going through a problem using a chi-square test. So part A asks, using a significance level of 0.05, so that will be our alpha value, stay right here, conduct an appropriate test to determine if, for adult residents of this county, there is an association between gender and whether or not they are satisfied with services offered by the hospital. Okay, so now first step, our ho and our ha, state them. Our ho is that our satisfaction does not depend on gender, and our ha is satisfaction does depend on gender. So now we will conduct our chi-squared test to test this significance level and see if our ho is true or not. And so the formula for the chi-square is the sum of observed minus expected squared all over expected. And here, plug our numbers in, and we calculate this, and we get 4.112 to be our chi-square value. And our degrees of freedom, since there are 2 rows and 2 columns, we subtract 1 with each of these, and we get 1 times 1 with both of these. I don't know if you can see that there, and 1 times 1 equals 1. So basically you get 1 times 1 with this. And so our degree of freedom is equal 1. So you take our degree of freedom equals 1 and our chi-squared, and we get our p-value of 0.042. So now that's our actual test. Now that we have our p-value, we can take this p-value, and we can compare it to our alpha value that was given in the problem of 0.05. So now with this, we can determine that we can reject the ho, that satisfaction does not depend on gender, because our p-value of 0.02 that we calculated here is less than our alpha value of 0.05. So if our p-value is lower, we reject the ho. So this means that satisfaction does depend on gender. Okay, so part B, moving on. Is 800 out of 1,000 a reasonable estimate of the proportion of all adult county residents who are satisfied with the services offered by this hospital? Explain why or why not. So basically 800 out of 1,000 is a 0.8. So a random sample was taken, that was stated in the problem. So 0.8 is a reasonable estimate for all county residents, because it says it gives you in the table that out of the total with a male and female, 800 out of the total 1,000 do accept. But since we just determined up here that gender implies satisfaction, or is a determining factor in satisfaction, this means that this general assumption with both genders together and giving this estimate is, yes, it's correct, it's a reasonable estimate, but a more accurate estimate with our association that we made here in our chi-squared, because chi-squared makes associations. A more accurate would be if we did it so where we found the proportion of male and female, and we average those together, and that would give us a 0.802, which is very, very close to the 0.8, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. That's why our 0.8 is still reasonable, but this would be a more accurate way of estimating the proportion, because we found an association between genders, and this counts in for that and kind of splits apart the genders. So yes, final answer, yes, it is reasonable, but this would be a better way to do it because of this association that we found in part A. So this concludes the video on going through a problem with a chi-square test and a little bit of application of our answers that we got in the chi-square test. And yeah.